Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. We are definitely not recording this 24 hours earlier than normal. So the playoff final has
Yep.
definitely happened, and qualifying for the
Well
Monaco
done, Sheffield United.
Grand Prix has also happened.
Sheffield United won 3-0, and Oscar Piastri, congratulations on the pole position.
Or well done, Sunderland, and wow, what a lap by Max Verstappen. See, we've covered it all. Doesn't matter now. It's irrelevant. We can just edit out as it
Leclerc not
happens.
being fastest all weekend anyway, so is that not like the worst?
Yeah, but it's Ferrari, and that will turn into them putting on wet tyres on a dry track. So
They have
it
to
won't
pit
actually
during
matter.
qualifying. Has there been a crash in F3? Because
I didn't watch the start of it, and one of my mates texted me and said the first 5 laps, 4 of them were under the safety car. So I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't bother.
Somebody mentioned safety car. Oh, there's another yellow flag now. So yeah, I mean, there was
Safety
more
car at
accidents.
Monaco, shock horror.
How many accidents was there in qualifying? Yeah, in practice yesterday. I mean, people just crashing all over the shop.
Well, I only saw FP1. Didn't see FP1. I mean, I listened to FP1. I didn't see it because I was at work, so I'd got it on in my ear. And apparently Lance Stroll did things that I then went and watched later on, and he just decided to.
Yeah, he just decided that. I mean, they showed the recording afterwards, and the guy clearly says there's a guy behind him. He clearly mentions Leclerc to him as part of the upcoming traffic.
Yes.
And Stroll decides just to move back into the fast lane. I mean, why did he need to move back into that lane? Why didn't he just carry on in the lane he was in? At least Leclerc then could have avoided running into the back of him.
The only reason he moves over is to make it easy to get around the hairpin. But as he's told on the radio that there's somebody there, he goes, "What was that? Didn't hear you." And then Leclerc rear ends him. It's like I was telling you that.
Smashes into it. So I think did he damage his gearbox or something?
I mean, I think he damaged a lot of that car because he gave him a fair old whack.
A whack, yeah. It was a proper fender bender, wasn't it?
From what I heard, it was just utter chaos. The whole session was chaos. There was just cars blocking each other. I've seen a picture that Hamilton was then
bought in laps and stuff.
Hamilton was then airborne at one point as he jumped over a chicane.
he jumped the chicane. I mean, everyone was just getting in each other's way. I can't think which corner it is. It's like a blind corner that they come out. Oh, it was near the end, and I think it's Max Verstappen and George Russell both come down to not at the same time, but both come down to the blind corner at the end, and there's just a car waiting for a gap in front of him, and it's doing about 4 kilometers an hour, and they're absolutely flat out. And like you see it, you go, "Whoa, shit!" And I'm thinking, I'm not even driving, and that's shit me up. So God knows what they thought.
It's almost like this track isn't big enough for Formula One cars.
It's almost like it's not made for racing. It's made for the people in the yachts. I mean, the yachts in the car park. It's never a car park, is it? The yachts in that bit of water on the thing are just unbelievable, aren't they? It's like it's nothing to do with racing.
In the car park would be more fun.
That's what we should call this race. Instead of the Monaco Grand Prix, we should call it yachts in a car park because the cars are too big for the track, aren't they? They're like a bunch of yachts. So yeah, we'll call it the yachts in the car park Grand Prix.
And speaking of yachts, have you seen the picture of Max Verstappen's brand new super yacht that he turned up?
No, but Jenson Button was discussing it. But Jenson Button was addressing it like Jenson Button was a poor man and he could only afford the small version. And I'm like, have you got a job at Tesco's or something? Because last I knew, you was a multi-millionaire ex-Formula One world champion, still getting paid ridiculous amounts of money and living in Monaco. And he's like, yeah, I used to have one of them, but I don't have it no more. I'm like, oh, my heart bleeds for you, Jenson. I'm sure you're struggling by. I'm like, yeah. I can't afford to go on it.
He's struggling by on his super yacht, and I'm drinking Aldi's own coffee.
That's it. Yeah, I don't think Jenson Button can even spell Aldi, can he? So go on then, get it out of the way.
Well, I gave you 4 or 5 minutes grace before we did this, just to ease you into, life and not make you too depressed too quickly. Wednesday night was the worst football match I think I've watched in 30 years.
Yeah,
you were atrocious. Your club's a disaster. You're a shambles. You've put 200 more staff on redundancy notice. Your manager said he'll resign, and all of your players are up for sale. Discuss.
We're akin to Leeds, aren't we? Back in, was it 2000s, early 2000s, when they just went from basically Champions League football to almost League Two. It
Yeah,
was,
Champions League semi-finalists, I think they were, and lost to potentially Inter Milan, if my memory's any good.
And then disappeared from the face of it. I mean, I said to somebody yesterday that, I think I said it to you as well, that there's a scary possibility that we get relegated. And it's becoming more and more of a not realistic, but more and more of a thought.
Probable.
Because we're just in total crisis, and everything we do, it's like when a boat's sinking and you're trying to scoop the water out with a teaspoon. It's just, we're paddling against a fucking very strong tide here, and we've got a teaspoon to help us. And yeah, it's just, I mean, the only saving grace, and I think I said it to you before the final, is, and I said to somebody else, that we now don't have to play midweek. So if Amorim is going to stay, he's got more time on the training pitch to get these people playing how he wants them to play. But
I mean, there's clutching at straws, and then
definitely 100%. I'm looking at the possible only upside to this is we now don't have to play in a stupid competition like we have done this season. But
there is another upside. Next season, if you're potentially getting relegated, that gives me hours of fun and content for our podcast to see you slowly but surely disintegrate.
I mean, it's hard to think as a Man United fan that a season could be worse than this season. But it could.
It really could.
It really could. Are we sort of second bottom form since February?
I think I saw a stat that said you've got 9 points in 5 months and you've lost every home game. But I don't know how accurate that was.
I think there's only Southampton in worse form than us since sometime January, February time.
And they're they're the second worst team to ever play in the Premier League.
Technically, we are relegation fodder for the last 5 months of the season. So if the next season starts like this one finished,
be relegated by Christmas.
I mean, yeah, our City would take it piss out of Southampton, and we could be relegated by September.
And parts of it were, I mean, all of Wednesday night was just depressing. I won't lie. As a neutral, watching that game, I was just.
I mean, Tottenham are bad as well. I know it's a great humility for you to take the piss out of me as a Man United fan, but by all accounts, the second half we absolutely battered them, and Tottenham were horrendous. Oh, by the way, I haven't watched the game because it all got ruined for me by everyone in the UK texting me, laughing at me. So when I woke up on Thursday morning early to watch it, I already knew that we'd lost because I'd had a barrage of abuse from family members as well, laughing. So I thought, I know we've lost, so I'm not going to fucking bother watching it because there's nothing worse than watching United at the minute and actually knowing you've already lost because they're not even worth watching. So I haven't actually watched the game.
It was so bad.
From what I've read, the second half, we were the better of two teams, and that says really bad things about Tottenham, if that's true.
It does.
And that's not me deflecting away from United being bad. We are horrendous, but it just shows you where the two clubs are right now. That if there is a team that can play in a European final that are as bad or worse than United, we're at Tottenham right now. And I know they've won, so they'll be happy, but they're in the same boat, really, aren't they?
I watched, obviously, all of it. After 60 minutes, I said they should give the trophy to the referee for having to suffer through that on the pitch. It was awful. Your players couldn't pass the ball 5 yards. He did pass the ball 5 yards. It was Maguire to Yoro, Yoro to Maguire, Maguire to Shaw, and back again. Fernandez tries to play a ball out wide, and it's only a 10-yard pass. Misses it completely, and it goes to a Tottenham player. Solanke's through on goal, kind of nearly one-on-one, but there is a defender close by. His first touch, it's coming towards him from his left, goes out for a throw-in nearly when he's trying to control it. And I'm just sat there thinking, how is this a European final? How are these two of the biggest clubs in England? And why am I still watching this after 60 minutes? Because it's just terrible.
I mean, I had no interest in watching it other than being a Man United fan because I knew the quality was going to be very low. And having known we lost, I couldn't find a sinew in my body that gave me any sense to watch any of it. And to find it was only 1-0 as well. I mean, at least if the two worst teams are playing,
own goal.
You want it to be like 5-4, don't you? At least there'll be something in it. 1-0. I mean, yeah, It's.
I mean, that was the only hope of the game, that it was two very bad teams that might, because of how bad they were, produce a decent game. It didn't. It went the way I predicted, which is unusual for me to get something right. It was two bad teams playing a bad football match, and it was just dire. It was drab. It seemed to lack any ability, any skill, any passion, any enthusiasm, any speed about the game. And then to top it all off, I texted in one of my groups saying, "This is primed for a Southgate, you need a goal, bring on a right back." And all of a sudden appeared Diogo Dalot onto the pitch. And I was like, what is this?
Going on.
There was sort of 8 minutes to go. And I'm like, bring on every attacker you've got. Whether they're any good or not, put on every attacking player you have, and he brings on a defender.
Been through this 1,000 times, haven't I? How many times have I got to sit here and tell managers that this is not what you do? You know, you've got to find any sinew of a player on the bench that has a history of scoring you a goal. I mean, the last thing Diogo Dalot did is get Ten Hag sacked for missing an open net against West Ham back in October. Last thing I want to do is bring him on. I think he's going to get you a goal. He's going to get you a sack, if anything. But there was a story in one of the British medias. I mean, it's probably a lie because it's in the British newspaper, but you know, I'll go with it being true. When Amorim went into Sporting, it was a very similar situation. In fact, probably worse. I think before he'd gone in, the fans had stormed the training ground and beaten up a load of the players and assaulted the staff and all sorts. And he got rid of 25 players in his first summer and had to rebuild the squad totally from basically ruins. So I've just got to clutch at that he's going to just sell them all. I mean, it's like it's a car boot, isn't it? It's literally, you know, when you're moving house and you've just got a garage full of shit that you want to get rid of. That's Old Trafford right now, isn't it? We're moving house. We're moving to a new stadium and we've got a garage full of players that we want to get rid of. Does anybody want to come and take them? We've got a little table out, a white van, and a lot of stickers, and we've just got them all labelled up. And people are just going to come and make us stupid offers for them, like, we'll give 15p. And it's like, it's only 20p anyway. Just give us, no, take it for 10p. Just take it and get rid of it. And that's what we're going to do, aren't we? It's a car boot sale.
And have you heard the even more concerning news for you? So obviously, Jadon Sancho went to Chelsea on loan.
Don't tell me he's coming back.
Obligation to buy for 20 million, I believe. There's a get-out clause for them. They can pay you 5 million and you have to take him back.
Yes, I saw this, but I did say at the time, how bad do you have to be as a footballer for someone to pay 5 million not to use you?
I didn't believe it at first, but I researched it. It's actually true.
It's like going to a car dealer and saying, I don't want that Kia, here's 10 grand. You know what I mean? How have we got to a point in football where someone's paying 5 million? Are we talking about £5 million here? I know footballers have lost the concept of money. This is £5 million, a life-changing amount of money for a footballer not to play for you. I mean, can anyone make this make sense to me, please? How is this a thing? How is this possibly an option?
But
here's
how
£5
does
million quid, take him away? It's not a removal service. It's not a scrap man.
How does his career rebuild from that if somebody's paid £5 million for you to go away?
You've got to disappear, haven't you? You've got to go away to one of these retreats and lock yourself in a room for 6 months and not be seen. Because if someone's paid 5 million quid, which would change my life forever, you know, to get rid of you. I mean, how much do they not like you? And there's a lot of people out there who don't like me, but they wouldn't pay £5 million to get rid of me. That is for certain. 5 million. What the fuck's going on? And he's going to come back to us. Next season, our front three is going to be Rashford, Xerxes, and fucking Sancho. We don't want none of them. Fuck's sake. I mean, the only good thing is Rashford's probably, although I still don't think he's pulled up many trees, enhanced his reputation a little bit more than it was before he left. So somebody will probably take him. I think there's a market for Garnacho. I think people will want him. I think Bruno looks like, you know, they're going to probably move him on. And there'll be takers for Bruno all day long because in the right team, he'll do the right job. He's getting rid of some of the deadwood that's our problem. I know Christian Eriksen's contract's up, Lindelof's contract's up. But it's like, how do we get rid of Højlund? How do we get rid of Xerxes? You know, we can't get Casemiro out. You know, I'm looking at people like I know it's harsh because he's probably one of our better players, but Harry Maguire's not the future of Man United. Luke Shaw, Diego Dallo, Tyrell Malacia, who came back from a 18-month injury, played 5 times, and I haven't seen hide and hair of him again. I don't know where he's gone. You know, there's just a massive list of people in there. You just got to think, how do we get rid of these?
You missed the biggest problem, the goalkeeper.
Oh, no. I mean, again, what we pay for him? 60 million? Who's going to give us 50 quid for him?
But luckily, Chelsea have shown you the way forward. Give people money to take them away.
I'm just what I'm thinking. I'm just as budget's low already. Are we going to have to actually pay to get rid of these people? I mean, somebody will buy Onana because they will. The world's mantling it. I mean, you know, somebody will buy
all
Onana.
of your players. It's just how much money you're going to lose in the process.
I just don't think it matters because you've got to look at if Xerxes goes for 30 million or 25 million, it's half what we paid for him, but he's off our books. It's 25 million we can spend on something else, and we don't have to play him every week, do we?
The problem you've got, though, is this summer you've got quite a few transfer fees you've got to pay. So I believe you've got to pay the next 17 million installment for Sancho.
We've got 100 million to pay out, haven't we, this summer for people
which you don't have.
We technically need to get rid of. So we're technically buying Sancho with the premise of needing to get rid of him. I mean, we've got money to pay on Varane, I believe, still, and he's gone. We've got money to pay on Casemiro, Højlund, Xerxes. Yeah, all these people we've technically got to buy this summer and then move them on. But it's irrelevant, isn't it? We're here, we're in the hole. There's no point saying, well, we can't get his money back on them. It's tough. We don't need them, do we? So we've got to get rid of them. We've got to get what we can get for them, and we've got to get rid of them. And that's it. Just get them gone. And just see what's left. It's literally just see what's left come first week of September or whatever, whenever it shuts, and play with what we've got.
I think the concerning part, though, besides all of that which is all very concerning, there's rumours people like Ahmad and Mainu might leave, and they're the only bright sparks you've got right now because they're the future. They're young. They can be brought forward. If they go...
But as I've said before, I'm happy for anyone to leave. Anyone. There's no player I look at right now and think he's got to stay. I would rather 32 players be sold tomorrow, all of them gone in a flash sale, and we start again. I would honestly rather it happen because everyone's there, and don't get me wrong, Ahmad's a good little player, but they've all been brought up by the car crash that is Man United right now. We need a fresh start. So as many as can leave as possible. I agree, everyone should be for sale. If the right money's there, sell them. And it's move them on. Mason Mount, everyone. There's nobody sacred. They're not going to sell Euro because he's shown good promise in his young player. And there's other young players that we've bought, Hayden Heaven from Arsenal, Obi from Arsenal. Players like that aren't going to be sold because they have got a future. But everyone else, just, literally bang them on eBay. It's a 14-day auction. Highest bidder wins.
£10 on nearest offer.
That's it. We'll just get them all. Just got to go. It's the only way forward. Just got to have literally a fire sale now.
Oh, there was one other benefit to you not winning that match on Wednesday night. You didn't have to give Casemiro a 25% pay rise because it was in his contract. If you won a European competition, that's what he got on his 350 grand a week.
The premise of the idea is right because obviously you would presume that you're succeeding by winning a European competition. I don't think anyone could have classed that as a success had we won. And giving a guy in his early 30s a pay rise that makes him on £400,000 a week, when ideally we need to be moving him on and putting his £22 million salary into somebody that's going to be there for the next 10 years.
I mean, it was already going to be your worst season in in our living history, should I say. But the way you've gone about it, the way the managers kind of said, oh, we're putting all his eggs in Europe because the Premier League's done. Now that's failed. Every egg he's put in every basket has cracked and gone mouldy. It's not. And you've now got a manager. You've got a manager saying, "Oh, well, don't sack me. I'll walk away. I don't want any money. I'll just leave."
I mean, I go back to September time when I sat on here with you and said there's no point in them sacking Erik ten Hag. Absolutely pointless decision. And can anyone in the world tell me that it's been a good idea?
Nope.
Give me a good reason. Have we got any better? No. Are we playing any better? No. Do the players look any happier? No. Does anyone look like anything's changed for the positive? No. Has it cost us 20 odd million to get rid of him? Yeah. Did we have that money? No. So what's the benefit?
Oh,
Absolutely
no.
not.
There is one benefit, but it's not to Manchester United or Manchester United fans. It's to the rest of us. Amorim has a worse record than Paul Jewell, who managed Derby to the worst Premier League season ever.
I mean, it's just, I just don't know what they were thinking. You know, and hindsight's a great thing, but I did say it at the time. Why are they getting rid of the manager in September? Having given him a new contract, having bought him the players that he asked for, having him won 2 trophies with obviously what is a shit team and a shit club. I don't know what we've achieved.
And the other, you're eventually going to hate me and probably storm off. He also has a worse record than a man who was chased out of Spain, Gary Neville. That man was literally hounded out of a job and hated by a whole country.
And it's easy to throw it at his door. Everyone throws it at the manager's door every time. But we've blamed every manager at Old Trafford since Ferguson left for being rubbish. Are you telling me that every manager that's come into Old Trafford since then is rubbish? Because I don't believe that.
Because David Moyes is doing a great job back at Everton.
David Moyes is a great manager. Jose Mourinho, one of the best in the world, might not have been at his peak, but he's still one of the best in the world. Louis van Gaal was a great manager. Maybe not a great style. You know, we've had good, you know, Ten Hag's Ajax were a brilliant side. Amorim's Sporting were a brilliant side. There's something fundamentally wrong, and all we keep doing is firing the manager and thinking it's going to fix the problem. Well, I don't know how many more managers they've got to sack before they realise that that's not the problem.
How many more managers are left? You've had them all.
We've had most of them. I mean, am I going to sit here in 12 months' time and say, I told you sacking Amorim was not the idea, was not the fix the problem? You know, sacking 4 managers before him. I mean, sacking Moyes was a bad idea, but I didn't know it at the time, unfortunately. You know, and that was 12 and a half years ago. So I'm not really sure what we've learned in that 12 and a half years. Nothing.
Nothing. You've just spent a lot of money buying players and sacking managers.
I mean, we've become like Chelsea, but at least Chelsea do seem to win some trophies every now and again.
And they're always top 5 or 6. You're plummeting off.
At least Chelsea can say. I mean, I think Chelsea sacking the manager sometimes. I mean, they did not sack Di Matteo after he won the Champions League. You know, stupid things like that. But it's like at least they're sort of achieving something. They've won titles. They've won Champions Leagues. They've won European competitions. They've won, you know, domestic competitions. We're sacking managers and just getting worse every time. Every time we've been another manager in, the team is worse than the previous team. You know, look, can you give me an era other than a small spell under Solskjaer where you think, we're starting to get better again now? We're worse now than we were under Moyes. We're worse now than we were under Mourinho. We're worse now than we were under any other manager. And every incarnation of the club is worse than the previous one. And we seem to think that if we just keep doing it, at some point, divine intervention will step in and we'll be good again.
So are you basically saying right here on today's episode that Manchester United's current strategy is basically a wing and a prayer?
Manchester United's current strategy should be to employ David Moyes, like they did 13 years ago, and put him in charge. And, I mean, Sean Dyche the other day said something about being United manager. I looked and I thought, you know what? Fuck it, give it him. at least people will run around and do the job. At least we'll be secure at back. Just give it him if he wants it. I can't think anyone else is really going to want it. It's like, you know, the manager's not the problem. And I don't know how long it's going to take before this sinks into people at Manchester United. And I understand that Ineos are coming, they're running the sport inside, they want their own manager. Okay, fair dues. That's fine. I can stomach that. You've brought your own manager in now. And I'm not saying back him, you've got to give him £400 million. I'm saying back him as in set the club up how he wants it. Give him a 5-year deal and say to any player currently at the club or coming into the club, this is your manager and he will be here for 5 years. If you don't like it, there's the door, hand in a transfer request and we'll get rid of you. That's fine. But he's the manager. If the club fails, the players will be sacrificed, not the guy at the top. And if they say that to him, we've got half a chance to turn this around. But if we keep just chopping managers in every 6 months, we'll just go down.
Yeah, I feel like exactly 12 months from today, we will be at the end of the 25-26 season. If you haven't committed Harry Carey by then, this could be an interesting conversation in 12 months' time.
I mean, I'm searching really hard for a new sport to fall in love with. And to be fair, most of the sport is absolutely crap. I mean, it's hard to watch Man United at the minute, but some of the other sports I'm trying to watch is literally like watching sand fall through a hole. It's fucking rubbish. I can't find anything else. So I've just got to watch football and hate it, Anna. I can't even support another team, can I? Because it'd just be worse than following Man United.
No, you can't. You've been a Man United fan for 40 years. You can't just now jump ship.
I don't mind losing. It's not the losing that I mind. I just mind the fucking numbness of the people at the top that just can't see what's plain and obviously in front of them. You know, we have about 15 people watch this podcast and I can tell them what the problem is. Just ring me up. I'll sort the problem out for them.
But there is another team you can support that are clearly not making as much stupid decisions, he says, quite ironically. Thomas Tuchel announced his England squad for his next World Cup qualifier against Andorra and a friendly against Senegal.
Let me get the full England squad up because I haven't seen the full squad because I'm at that point with England again, and I've been there before, where I tend to see the announcement come up and I just think, well, I just don't like what I'm going to read, so why read it? You know, I know I'm not going to like it, so why put myself through reading it?
I gave him one squad as a, okay, you're trying to do something. I'm now convinced he's here as a spy on behalf of the German FA, just to literally screw us over.
Sabotage mission, isn't it? It's a sabotage mission because they're scared that we're going to win something, so they've sent him in, and he's just going to pick. I mean, are even some of these players footballers that we're picking? So, I mean, I'm just quickly. We've only picked 3 goalkeepers this time. I mean, I don't know why I bothered picking 3 again because only one will play. Over 2 are just an expensive airfare, aren't they? That's all they're doing. I mean,
there's no Mark Gay in the defence.
Who's been one of the best defenders in the league, and he played well for England in the summer.
There's no Adam Wharton,
who's been one of the best. I mean, how have Palace not got their 2 best players in, having had a good season and won a trophy?
I don't know.
I mean, the way I look at it is, if you're Adam Wharton and Gay, what do you have to do to get in the England team?
Well, apparently Adam Wharton's been sent with the under-21s, so I'm guessing they've got a European Championship. So it's not as if he's injured because he's going with the under-21s. So we've got one of the best midfielders that's played this season, and we're going to stick him in the under-21s. Why?
It's just an insult, isn't it? Like I said, that'd be my question. I said, what do I have to do? You know, I've played in a successful team. We've won a trophy. We've been pretty decent all season. We're playing under a good manager, playing a good style of football. What more can he do other than saying to him, well, if you go and play for City or Liverpool, you'd probably get in. But is that what we really want to be saying to these young players? To go and sit on Liverpool's bench, you've got a better chance of getting in.
And I hate that. I hate that we do this we've always done it as a nation. To me, I couldn't care less who you're playing for. You could be playing for Port Vale, and if you're looking like you've got the talent and the ability and the skill, and you're good enough, you should be in the England squad. I don't care which club you play for. It's ridiculous. And then we come on to...
Why is Madueke?
Well, before that, we've picked Kyle Walker, who's about 400 years old.
This is exactly the same conversation we had last time, isn't it? Yeah. My way of looking at an England team is, and maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about, is I want to be picking people that are playing in America next summer.
Yes.
Are we really taking Kyle Walker to America next summer?
Apparently so.
I mean, he's going to be older than me by then. You know, as a new manager and you're coming in and you're obviously planning for the future. Has he really thought that his future is we need Kyle Walker?
And Jordan Henderson, who's just bottled the Dutch league. There were 9 points clear with
in. Oh, yeah, he's there, isn't he?
And he's back again.
So we're going to start with Jordan Henderson and Harry Kane again, aren't we?
And Kyle Walker. Great.
So we've progressed. I mean, we're literally the Manchester United of nations, aren't we? We've progressed nowhere. We brought in a new manager, and we're going to do the same stuff.
And then I have probably it's not the biggest annoyance because Kyle Walker and Jordan Henderson are, but then up front, Ivan Toney's now back in the England setup, playing in a Farmers League. What are you doing anywhere near that England team? Yes, you scored 22 goals, but so what? I probably
thought
could
there
in
was
Saudi
some
Arabia.
sort of unwritten rule in English football that if you left English football, the chance of you actually playing for England are very, very slim. And yet we've got 3 at least, 4, 5. We've got Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Jordan Henderson, Ivan Toney, Harry Kane, Kyle Walker. I mean, half of his team don't even play in England.
I don't have an issue with that because, in theory, that should make us a better national team because we're getting a better understanding of how other European nations
How many of them
play.
are playing at a decent level? Jordan Henderson's not, is he? He's playing in the Dutch league.
And bottled it.
I could get a game. You know, all right, Conor Gallagher's playing for Atletico. I'll give him that. Jude Bellingham's playing at Real Madrid. Harry Kane's playing at Bayern Munich. Ivan Toney's not. I mean, is Kyle Walker really pulling trees up at AC Milan? I mean, where have AC Milan finished? I know they've not won it. And I don't
think they've come anywhere near, to be completely honest.
Napoli's won it.
Napoli and Inter Milan were fighting out on the final day.
Well, I think it's Napoli. Yeah, I think Inter Milan come second because somebody said Inter Milan are the Italian Arsenal because they always come second.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous. It really is.
I mean, I don't know why his defence looks so shaky all of a sudden. I mean, Reece James can't play more than 15 minutes without getting injured. Kyle Walker's older than me. Trevor Chalobah, is he really that good? Dan Burn. I mean, I'm not.
So just to go back to your other point, AC Milan finished 9th, 22 points, 22 points off the top of the table.
So I'm not seeing what Kyle Walker can have possibly done in a team finishing 9th in an Italian league, which tends to be subpar, to have warranted staying. I mean, how many times has he been over to Italy and watched Kyle Walker?
Probably not.
Does he pick him because his name's Kyle Walker?
Yes, that's why we're picking Jordan Henderson because his name's Jordan Henderson. Although I don't know why there's any weight behind that name because I don't.
I don't know. We just look light, mate. To me, we seem to have gone from having one of the best young sides around to almost looking at it thinking we look a bit like a Brentford. We just look a bit.
We look like England post the last golden generation. Obviously, they never won anything, but when you got past sort of out of 2006 and 8, and we went through that period of we're just throwing people at the squad.
Gerrard finished and Lampard finished and Scholes had finished, and we just sort of looked at it and thought, "Is this the best we've got?"
Yeah. And then we came into the last 2 tournaments going, "Wow, this team on paper is
we've
got something." And now you look. I just look at the squad every time he picks it, and I go,
I take it Phil Foden's not done enough for him.
Nope.
I mean, some of the young City. I mean, there's no City players.
There's no City or United players in the squad at all for the first time ever. I think.
Players.
But that's believable.
Well, yeah.
I get why they're not there.
I mean, you know, I take James Maddison over Jordan Henderson any day of the week. At least James Maddison can do something different. I mean, I'm not saying he's world class, but at least he can unlock a defence. He's got a cracking free kick. You know, he's got a bit of personality even. You know, Jordan Henderson's got none of the above, has he? But no City players. I mean, they've had some very good young lads playing for them this season. Are they not worth a look at in 2 games against 2 nations that don't really have a football club?
I've just looked at something else which blows my mind. I won't lie. So Thomas Tuchel has warned Trent Alexander-Arnold that he could cost his country the World Cup if he doesn't improve defensively. If he's not good at defending, stop picking him. He's a defender. And if he can't defend, don't put him in your team.
Again, I can tell you he's not good at defending. I don't even watch him every week. I'm not assessing him.
How can a manager warn a player that you're going to, as a defender, you're going to cost your country because you're no good at defending, but I'm going to pick you based on that?
There are 3 right-backs going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold, who can't defend, Reece James, who tends to not be able to finish more than 90 minutes, and Kyle Walker, who's probably got a bus pass.
Pretty much, yeah. And you've got Tino. You've got Tino Livramento.
That's what I'm saying. But the other guy from City, and I always forget which one. It's not Oscar Bob, is it? He's not England. Rico Lewis. I mean, surely if he's playing for City regularly, there's got to be something worth looking at. Better than bringing in Kyle Walker.
People like Dewsbury Hall and Lewis Hall, and we've got quite a lot of defenders knocking around, but we just seem to be sticking with names.
Yeah, it's almost like it's safe for him, isn't it?
Southgate said he would never do this. You were always going to be picked on form, which turned into a load of shit because he picked
always the line. And the first manager that sticks to it, you'd think, oh, fantastic. if you're picking players on form, with all due respect, are you picking James Trafford at Burnley because he's playing in the Championship? If he's that good next season, then fine. But how can you judge his form when he's playing in a second-tier league?
But I think you've got to, and I think you've got to be fair to him. He's had 29 clean sheets this season. Yes, the quality's lower, but when you're basing it against who he's playing against, it's a great
Birmingham
effort.
goalkeepers also had fucking 20-odd goals. I mean, why him and not another? We need to be picking the best, don't we? And he's not playing in the top league. I can't think of another nation that would be picking people out of their second tier, a top nation. They pull them from the top clubs. I mean, I don't know why there's 3 goalkeepers anyway, because we only play 1. So, I mean, it's a total. We might as well took 2 extra footballers, haven't we?
We don't have any, apparently.
It's
we've got Jordan Henderson.
I mean, Noddy Madueke. I can't say I've ever watched him. I think he scored 3 goals against Southampton back in October or something. I can't say I've ever watched him and thought, you know what? I can't wait to see him in an England shirt.
No.
We just look so light, don't we?
Yep.
I just think when that first 11 goes out, I'm thinking, who are we going to bring on? I don't know.
But even the first, when you look at it, it doesn't even inspire you with thinking this is going to be entertaining or this is going to be good to watch. You just think this is an
safe
extension of Gareth Southgate, which we all agree, most of us with a brain, that was an abject failure. I don't buy into the concept that he was a success. I don't buy into the concept that he did well. He took us forward to a point, but that point was still failure.
Yeah, he did a Solskjaer, put a smile on everyone's face, got us going in the right direction. They should have let him stay for a year and then said, thanks for your job. You've done a great job. You've got everyone interested in football again. You've got everyone smiling again. Let's bring in a manager that's some good. And we didn't. We stuck with him for the best part of an eternity. I'm sure I was still at school when he signed, and I'm nearly old enough to retire now. And we've won nothing. We've just spent every summer doing what we normally do. But again, England don't tend to win things, so we're probably over-egging things, but there's got to become a point where you change something, haven't you? You've got to do something different.
But that's our problem. We've become too accustomed as a nation, like I know we've discussed this a lot, that coming second is okay, well done. No, it's not. Get ruthless. Get aggressive.
The Arsenal philosophy. It's
but
we nearly did it. I mean, Arsenal fans the other day talking about, we just came up against a good Liverpool side, and I just think, oh my God, it's always somebody else's fault. And England are the same. France just were better than us. Why were they better than us? Why did we let them be better than us? Next season, next summer, fucking Brazil will just be better than us, and Croatia will just better. Stop letting people be better than us. Stop giving in to them and just accepting that if we lose, it's all right because, they're obviously just better than us. No.
Yeah.
Part that. Do you think Pep just goes, we just lost to Liverpool that year because they were better than us? No. He goes out next season and makes sure that they go an extra 10% and win it. You don't just rest on his laurels and let it go.
Tuchel did say something the other day that I actually agree with. He said when he watched us last summer, all he saw was, he said there was a team of players there that were too scared of going out and not looking at winning. He said they just looked scared to lose instead of thinking we're good and we'll win. And he's got a point.
I mean, that's an assessment of England, isn't it, over the last 60 years?
70, 80, 90.
All the promise. We go out not to lose, don't we?
Yeah.
Don't lose this game. Just don't lose this game and we'll be all right. Don't lose this game. And before you know it, somebody takes it away from us and we lose.
Yeah. And we all sit there doing the same thing.
You look at the teams we've had with the Rooneys and Gerrards and, the Shearer, go out there and just take it to them, sort of Barcelona style. Just, let's just go for the throat. 20 minutes in, 2-0 up, they'll just roll over and die. But we don't, do we? We're always like, let's get to an hour, still be in the game. We're playing Moldova. We don't need to still be in the game. Yeah. Why have we got 4 defenders on? Moldova scored 3 goals in 15 years, and we've got 4 at the back.
And 2 in the holding midfielders.
4 goalkeepers on the bench because we're going to need. I mean, put Harry Maguire in net if he gets injured. Get extra attackers on.
Yeah. I mean, we've always said it. We'd rather go into a knockout game and lose 6-3 than try and ball out a 1-0 win. Just go for it.
I think back to like games against Not Greece. Who did we lose to? Embarrassingly. Not Greece, were it? Who did we get?
Christ,
Finland.
that's a long list. Who we've lost to embarrassingly? Greece recently.
But you look at them
Iceland in
games.
2016.
Iceland. And you look at games like that, and you just think, had we played to win, there's no way we can lose that game because we're so much better than them. But we're almost playing within ourselves, just thinking, typical England, just get to an hour, still be in the game, and as quality will show through. Well, I don't think that works, mate.
No.
Why didn't we go out in the first 20 minutes? Sort of akin to Arsenal in the heyday, United under Ferguson in the heyday, and the game's over by the time most people have sat down. You know, the late comers to the ground get in and think, oh, it's 2-0 again. We've already... It's done and dusted. And the best teams do that, don't they? They put you
and
to
one of the
sword.
greatest examples of that was, I saw it randomly the other day. You played Roma in the Champions League many years ago now, and you won 7-1 at home, but it was 3-4-0 after half an hour, and the game was dead.
Put the tie to bed. And the great Barcelona's, Real Madrid's, like I say, Man United, Arsenal in the hit, that's what they did. It was start fast. Don't worry about what their tactics are. Don't worry about how they're setting up. Let's go and play our game, and let's just go. Gung ho for them. Get shots off. Get people in the box. How many times do you watch England these days, and there's just Harry Kane in box? And you're thinking, we're not going to score. The odds are stacked against you because they've got 5 at the back plus 2 holding midfielders. We're trying to drop a ball on Harry Kane's head. Why haven't we got 5 in the box when we're getting these balls across? And I watched Brentford the other day, and Brentford are putting balls into the box, and they've got so many players rushing the box to score goals. And I'm thinking that's so what Man United don't do, what England don't do. I know it's a bit old school, but if you're going to put a cross in, you want as many people in that box as possible. And we don't do things like that. It's just simple things.
We say it's old school, and it is, but I think that type of football will get a renaissance because I think this modern style that Pep has brought to football...
Boring.
Well, not just boring. I think eventually people are going to realise it's not that effective unless you are...
Roy Keane said it the other day, didn't he? He said, when you've played out from the back 15 times and it's cost you 15 goals, how stupid you have to be not to think, if I just hit it as far as I can up that pitch, they can't score. They can't score from 75 yards away, can they? Yeah. And I know it sounds pathetically simple, but if you've got big players on the pitch, and most teams have, I think United with Zirkzee, if you've got big players on the pitch, why not knock it into the channels and go long and get away from your goal and remove the problem? How many goals have Man United given away this season fucking about with the ball at the back? You can take them goals straight off your calendar, can't you? Yeah. And possibly have scored a couple yourself by having the ball at the other end. We see this 6-yard box, you've got a defender and a goalkeeper, and the defender passes it to the goalkeeper. Well, shock alert, the goalkeeper had possession because it was a goal kick taken by the fucking goalkeeper. So why are we passing it to the goalkeeper? And all that does is allows their players to advance on you because they can't be offside because you've got a defender stood on your own fucking touchline. So straight away then, you're playing from your own 6-yard line, not 65 yards further that way. You might as well say, rather than Harry Maguire pass it to Onana, why doesn't Onana pass it to Harry Maguire up there? He said to him, you run up there and I'll kick it to you. That's a better idea. Because at least then when he wins the header, we're fucking 2/3 of the pitch away from our net. It just baffles me. I can't get my head around it.
I can't.
It's all right if you're playing against Moldova or some Russian third-tier team. Yeah, you don't need to kick the ball on because they probably don't know what they're doing. But when you're playing against good sides that can press, and I'm thinking like your Brentfords and your Brightons and teams like that who are decent at it, just knock it long. Just get it away from your net. They can't score. And you might give possession away a few times, but not as many times as they are doing now, playing.
And the other thing you would, if you played it long a few times, you'd also then push back their press because they think, hang on a minute, ball's going over us.
I'm going back to my day of football, but the first thing you did on a goal kick is all push up to the halfway line. So they were offside if they weren't in front of you. The thing we do now is, one defender drops to the right-hand side of the box, one drops to the left-hand side of the box, one comes and stands in the 6-yard box, and we pass it between each other, and then we try and play out to them. So the first thing they can do is they can be 9 yards from your goal straight away. So if they win possession, they've got 6 yards to go to get a shot in. Not 65 yards like they would do playing a normal way. And the chances are they're going to be offside. I can't see an advantage to me at all. I just can't see how it works.
No, I haven't from the minute it started, unless you are the very, very, very best clubs in the world.
I mean, did we buy a ball-playing goalkeeper, in air quotes, so we could pass it 3 yards from one side of the 6-yard box to the other? Would we not have been better buying a ball-playing goalkeeper and doing like the City goalkeeper does, so he can drop balls over the top to, some fast Ahmad style Garnacho wingers and play something like that?
Do you know what I'd have done buying a goalkeeper?
I'd have bought
one that can stop the ball going in the net.
What I'd have done is kept the one that could save things in the first place. But, I'd have kept Ten Hag. So, I mean, what do I know?
What do we know?
He did get rid of him. So, I don't know. I've just, it's like I look at defending. It's like goalkeepers should be able to save the shots. Defenders need to be able to defend. Strikers need to be able to control the ball and shoot. And I just watch so many football teams and think, well, your strikers can't score goals. So what is he on pitch for? Your right back's got no interest in defending. So he's not a right back, is he? He's a right winger, and a bad one at that. Your goalkeeper can't save the ball. Yeah, he's fantastic. He do 50 kick-ups and knock it 300 yards to your left winger, but shot comes in, shits himself. What's the point in him? He kind of not ticked the box, has he?
No.
So I don't know.
But at least the season's nearly over and we can move on from this terrible...
Is it the last game? Does everyone play tomorrow?
Today, because obviously today is Sunday. Remember?
Yes. Sorry,
yes, no, it is.
Today. Yeah.
4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. That everybody kicks off for the final time, which is 11 p.m. for you.
Yeah, I've lost interest, mate. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I can't imagine the atmosphere at Old Trafford tomorrow is going to be anything other than toxic, probably quiet.
Quiet. Will anybody even turn up?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of Chinese people there. There always is. Other than that, no. I don't know. People are just going to be fuming, aren't they? Sick of it. If you're a United fan right now, you should just be pissed with the players. Stop being pissed with everyone else. You can be pissed with Ineos. You can be pissed with the managers. You can piss with, the American owners, the Glazers. Why not somebody start being pissed with the players and start having a look at them and saying, why aren't you guys performing? Because you can have the worst owners in the world, but what makes the players only give you 15% of their ability?
True. That is very true. Yeah. But I think
the Glazers are a toxic, money-sucking wretch. Does that mean that Xerxes is a bad footballer? Does that mean that Onana can't catch a ball? Is that their fault? Let's be sensible. It's not, is it? Just because they've took £1 billion out of the club doesn't mean Onana can't stop a shot. It doesn't mean that Diego Dalot has got no idea about where he defends when he's a right back. It doesn't change these things. It doesn't mean that Højlund has 15 shots and not one of them goes anywhere near the net. It doesn't change this, does it? It means that they've took money out of the club. But have United had a lack of money in the last 20 years? You can't say they have, can you? You can't look at United and think the one thing they haven't done is ever spent any money. So it's all right blaming the Glazers because it's an easy shout. Why don't somebody blame the 11 people that supposedly turn up every week to play football?
Do you have a doctor local to yourself? Because I feel like your blood pressure might be going dangerously high.
I'm trying to get this suntan back because winter seems to be coming, so I thought I'd just lose my shit all at once.
Oh, and then to top it all off, we can now discuss Formula One and the Monaco Grand Prix that's going to happen.
It's literally, I'm not sure I've had many worse weeks, to be fair.
No.
We've got turned over by the only club in England worse than us. I mean, that's ironically enough, isn't it, that we've lost to another English team and they were below us in the league. I mean, didn't manage to get relegated. And now, is it a race? Are we calling it a race?
No. Don't.
Is it a show? Is it an event?
Yes.
Is it just a boat selling competition with helicopters running? I mean, there's a lot of nice cars rocking up. You see people arriving in one-of-one Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and you see boats bigger than most people's houses. And then the cars go out on the track, and other than crashing, they're not even particularly fun crashes, are they? It's not Yuki Tsunoda going upside down. It's trickling into a barrier and knocking a corner off my wing. It's not an exciting crash. I mean, Lewis Hamilton did about the most exciting thing, and they weren't actually on the track. Took off.
But at least the entertaining part of the whole weekend of Formula One is this afternoon. So qualifying is at 3 p.m. UK time, which is the only bit of the whole Monaco weekend which is ever worth watching.
Yeah.
Because qualifying here it's the most electrifying qualifying of the whole year. I've got to admit. Watching them push flat out round there is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's a skill to driving round the place. I don't diminish
Not an
that.
enjoyable skill.
I mean, driving around in a car would be quite a challenge. Driving around in a Formula One car is a nigh an impossibility. I will give the drivers what the drivers are doing is fantastic. But I'd say the same around, even Imola last week to drive some of them the speeds of those corners. I mean, them chicanes they take, not chicanes are they, but them sweeping left rights to take there are, it's mind blowing to think how they take them corners. It's the spectacle, isn't it? You wait all week for a race. And it's basically in a large car park with a lot of yachts around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just doesn't work. The track needs to be twice as wide, and then we might have a chance.
Unfortunately, that's not possible because that means changing the whole city.
You'd be a bit wet, wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, you'd have to knock out a lot of buildings as well.
Well, they should do it. I mean, I think they need to make a sacrifice and do it.
But yeah,
they need to build a new one. Why can't they build one out in the water? Can't they build a racetrack on the water for us, like a proper, on stilts racetrack? All yachts can park underneath it, and we'll have a proper multi-billion-pound racetrack out in Monaco. See, I fixed Formula One as well.
A Formula One track on stilts? Are you
on stilts? Yeah, on stilts in the water. I mean, what could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? On track. Like Scale Electric, you used to have to build a little bridge over a track. That's what we're basically going to do. We'll still have the tunnel, because I like that bit. And then as we come out of the tunnel, we'll go left at that chicane and we'll just go out into water. And we'll just mess about out there for 15 corners and then come back. I've sorted it. Get that guy to give me a bell. What is it? Prince? Something.
Mohammed Ben Salem.
Not him. No, the guy who owns Monaco. Don't want him to ring me.
Prince Albert. I think it is.
Yeah. There, get a time to ring me. I'll sort it out with him. We'll go through plans. I've got CAD. I'll try and knock him somewhat up.
You just ruined his whole country.
Just build it, mate. Just build it. Yeah, and then, like I say, yachts can park underneath. It'd be a spectacle.
Until the Formula One car comes off the track and into the yacht.
Yeah, it'll only be Yuki Tsunoda. Nobody will miss him. He's only small. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what to say about it. I just don't know. It's like I said, I refer back to playing Formula One games, and I used to skip the race. It's that bad. It's like, I just don't know what it is.
Well, seeing as we both don't know how or why it's a thing, at least let's predict qualifying. So give me a top 3 for qualifying.
Is Leclerc just fast here because he lives here and he's got like inside knowledge? Has he got like a special corner cut that he's taking? Is he cutting through trees?
But Lewis was third.
That's why Ferrari suddenly quick this weekend. Is it because it's? I just don't understand. I mean, in my head, if your car's rubbish, Monaco's not the place for it to suddenly turn up to be decent.
I think there's a possibility Ferrari have shown more of their hand early on than what Red Bull and McLaren and the others have.
I mean, there were some big gaps. I mean, I didn't see the end of FP2. I saw a couple of that. I mean, it went fastest on the hard tyre at one point. It was
the bit that's really confused me is in the week leading up to it, Leclerc was asked, what's your thoughts coming into Monaco, and he said, "Our car is bad at slow corners. Monaco is all slow corners," and walked away. So I was taking that as, this is going to be bad. They could be last, kind of bad, but now he's fastest, and I don't quite
consider. I mean, yeah, all right. Other people may turn their engines up a bit and may start pushing, but he's been consistently fastest, almost like Max used to be. Where you're just looking and thinking, he's going to be on pole again, isn't it? Because it's written. I mean, it's just, yeah. Is it because it's literally where he grew up? Is he that familiar with it? He's got extra tenths in the bank, or?
There will be part of it, the fact that it's his home track. I mean, he's always gone well here when he can actually not put it in a hedge, or Ferrari will screw him over.
Yeah. Is it going to rain as well?
I haven't looked at the weather in the last couple of days, but there was a potential of rain today, I believe.
I read it was a 50-50 chance of rain. I didn't see whether that was qualifying or race, I must admit. But
The thing is with Monaco, because of where it is and the mountains that are above it, there's always a chance of rain because a storm can just kind of bubble up out of nowhere, even one that's not predicted, and all of a sudden you've got rain coming. But no, according to this now, they don't have any chance of rain for today.
Monaco sound like Sheffield.
But yeah, no, it's not going to rain now. So it is just a dry session, which means tomorrow is the dullest day on earth.
See, but that's when you need rain, don't you? We need some rain tomorrow. Although they'll just end up cancelling race, wouldn't they? So what we need is like a sprinkling of rain, like for about 5 laps, and then dry, and then sprinkling the rain again. So there's like 6 pit stops or something, just so we can like.
But it's all right. They've fixed it anyway because they've enforced 2 stops, so that'll fix everything at Monaco. It won't.
I'm not a strategist by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm guessing they'll do the same on the second stop as they did on the first stop.
Well, if you've got to think, if there's no safety cars or red flags and it's just a normally run race, they've all done the same simulation, so they will all know exactly the same lap to pit because they'll know what the fastest way of doing it is. So it's not going to mix anything up.
Well, if you're first, all you do is pit last. Does somebody can overtake you?
Depends, because if you pit last and they run out and the guy in second is quicker, that could be interesting. But if you're first, just pit first because you're always quicker after you've pit. And then you'll just come out first and then you'll win. And we'll all just do the same. The only thing that might happen is if, say, I don't know, Lewis Hamilton qualifies 10th, for instance, because he has a bad day and then decides to box on lap 1. That could mess things up for people.
It's a great plan. Just, box on lap 5 and just fuck everybody up and then hold up somebody. But I mean, it concerns me that we're talking about strategies and pit stops and McLaren are involved in again because they just don't seem to have the ability to think outside the box, do they, to win anything? Not that I think they're particularly bad. They're not Ferrari, but they're always safe, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always we'll just pit when we should pit because that's the easy strategy. You just want them to like do something stupid like that, like pit Lando on lap 7. So that it just throws a spanner into the works for everybody because everyone's thinking, fuck, now what do we do? And just throw something in there.
My trouble is for McLaren this weekend, and I do still worry that even Oscar, do they, over 1 lap, have they got it? Because this weekend is all about today. Unless anything stupid happens tomorrow, it's all about today. And I just look at Max and go, you've got so much more you can do in a qualifying lap. Some of the qualifying laps he's pulled out in his career, you just watch in awe of going, wow. I mean, the one 2021 Saudi Arabia, I know he ended up in the wall on the last corner, but for 99% of that lap.
Oh, yeah. It was so
insane.
Yeah.
Cool. Monaco 2023, he's 3/10 down going into the final sector, gets poled by 2/10. He gains half a second in a sector. And I just look at Lando and Oscar and think, can you do that? And a track that is all about qualifying and all about the driver's performance more than the car, do they have that? And I don't know if they do.
Lando doesn't. Definitely not.
Well,
I'd never see Lando being in the top 3 to this weekend.
It could end up in the Bay. Let's be honest.
Which is where the new track will be. So he's maybe just doing a bit of recce running. No, I'll get Leclerc, Max, Oscar, top 3.
Is that qualifying or the race? Same answer, I suppose.
Definitely. I mean, what might as well be qualifying because that is basically the race, isn't it? Whoever they qualify. Top 20 will finish in the same places.
I'm going to go Max, Oscar, Leclerc. Same 3, different order.
All right. Max, Oscar. No, I'm not having it. Ferrari winning.
I'm sorry. I'll change my prediction then because you disagree.
Yeah. Could you agree with me to make it more politically correct? So that's the thinking. Qualifying today. Don't bother watching the race tomorrow or the football tomorrow. Watch
Indy 500.
Indy 500. Is that the guy where the guy was on his roof the other day?
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Yeah. Is that the one where they race around in a circle?
Yes, for 3 hours.
So this is like Monaco without corners.
Apparently, he's quite good. I've never fully watched it, but apparently it is quite.
I mean, it sounds horrendous, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's literally 500 laps
Of
or
turning
500
left.
kilometers of
500 miles.
miles of driving round a circle.
Yes.
I
Repeatedly.
mean, they've got rid of the best bits of a race, haven't they? Which are the corners where you actually get some chance of an overtake. And which was the least exciting bit? The bits that straight. Oh, we'll just make a track of them then.
And I did learn something. I mean, I don't know much about IndyCar and I don't even profess to do, but I did learn one thing that I thought, which really blew my mind this week. So one of the teams that drives in the championship owns the championship. I'm like, how is this fair? What? So the team called Penske Motors, and the owner of Penske Motors owns IndyCar. I'm like,
I mean, if they're not winning every Indy 500, there's something wrong, isn't there?
They've both been kicked to the back for cheating.
No shit. What did he do? Put a right-hand turn in for everyone else, and you only go left.
They've been modifying the car. There's something that there's not. They've done something to the car that you're not allowed, and it turns out they won the race last year. They also cheated last year, and nobody noticed. They found out. They put the 2024 car on display this week as the winning car, and somebody looked at it and said, "Hang on, that's illegal." And they were like, "Yeah, it is. We can't know about it now."
Well, I mean, they made the rod for their own back by letting the guy who owns the sport have a team in the sport, aren't they?
It's just
crazy. Ben Sullivan, whatever he's called, I mean, he's not going to be far off having a team. He'd probably drive as well. You know, he's getting that way, isn't he?
But yeah, I just thought, wow. So not only do you own the sport, you've cheated in the sport, and you drive in the sport.
I mean, that's the conflict of interest at the highest possible level, isn't it? I mean, how is that even a thing?
I don't know. I just think that piece of information, finding that out though, literally just summed up my whole week. I'm like, I'm done. I'm just so done with this week.
Yeah, I want to get back to a time where an English driver's winning the title in the Formula One and United are battling for title. And I can come on here in a happy, jovial mood and talk about all the great things that happen in sport. And every time I come on, United have lost, Max has won again. And I try to watch other sports to broaden my horizons, and it's just crap. It's just, you know, I've tried to watch basketball today, and I don't understand what's happening. They're playing 7 games in a quarterfinal. I'm like, I just don't understand why we've got to do this. Can't we just play one game like a normal game? You know, 7 matches to qualify for another round of 7 matches. In the final, there's another 7. Fuck me. Season started September and finished, well, July. They play every night. I'm like, this is just a stupid sport, isn't it? It's like somebody's just got, just keep adding games on. 7 games in a final. Who's ever have a 7-game final?
Baseball, when they play the World Series, only Americans are in.
Oh, yeah. It's just, I just keep looking around them and thinking, what a stupid sport. What another stupid sport. And yeah, I know hockey's doing the same. I mean, they've got more games than, I don't know, people in China, aren't they? It's just ridiculous. I just want to sit down and watch a final and it just be all about that day. I don't want there to be 7 games in the final. I've lost interest before I found out. It's like watching 5-day cricket. I've lost interest before we get to end and it's a tie. And I think, oh, fuck's sake. 7 games and we've drawn.
Oh, dear. Well, if nothing else, has been a highly entertaining hour of my life.
What I have realised about sport before we go is this podcast, it's like therapy. This is all the stuff I used to say to myself sat on the toilet, and I just say it to you and 10 listeners.
But our listener base is growing, and we do very much thank you all for taking the time out of your day to listen to us literally complain for an hour. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you've had a laugh, and we will
punching somebody at work. I'll just come on here instead.
You don't have a job, so you can't punch somebody at work.
Shit, I think we'll have to do that.
But we will be back with you all again.
Qualifying's on at 3 o'clock.
Yes, so 10 p.m. your time. You will see.
And that's the same time that the football kicks off. Actually, it's not the same time the football kicks off, is it?
It's 3:01.
3:01. You see, because we have to do these things.
Yes, we do. So you'll get to see a minute of qualifying before the football kicks off. So thank you very much for your time and your patience and your grumpy attitude. Man United suck. England suck. Monaco sucks.
Mando Norris
Everything
sucks.
sucks. And
Basketball
on that
sucks.
note, we'll speak to you all again
Goodbye.
very, very soon.
See ya.